Okay, this is going to be just a short video on how to use drills in language learning. The objective behind this is to explain the big picture behind drills, how to record them. We're going to learn two simple little drills, and then you're going to go out and practice. Nobody really uses drills much anymore. I'm not sure why. A few answers might be language learning styles. We think that we have to learn language in a particular way because of who we are. But I just want to put out to you that we should use every method possible to learn language and not let the style of our learning inhibit using all sorts of methodologies. The second thing is oftentimes we learn in classrooms in the West, and so we think we have to have a classroom to learn language. I just want to remind you that millions and millions of illiterate people who have never been in a classroom know multiple languages. And I want to discourage you from thinking that the classroom is the only way to learn a language. It is one way, but not the only way. I think also we deal with laziness, and we don't want to get out there and do the hard work of language learning. These can be hard work, but they're also easy and fast shortcuts to learning text in your language. And finally, ignorance. We don't know how to use them. This video will begin to help us learn how to use them. First of all, you need to get a recorder of some sort. Now, obviously, you can use a computer. Audacity is a piece of software that is free. It works on almost any computer or operating system. Google Audacity. If you don't know how to use computers well, you can look at Audacity tutorial, and there'll be lots of videos out there that teach you how to use it. Now, if you're going to use a computer, learn how to play it later on with something that's always with you. Whatever you record, you want to have it be able to be carried with you. So have an MP3 player. Maybe this is your excuse to get that iPod that you've always wanted. You can also, of course, use an old-fashioned tape recorder. It's what I use to learn Serbo-Croatian. Very effective, very easy to use. You can use a digital recorder. Again, the benefit of that is you can put it onto an MP3 player of some sort, or you can even just use the digital recorder itself to listen to the text later on. You can also use an iPod or an iPhone. They have recorders built into them, and you need to know how to start, stop, record, play, and really master the use of that technology before you sit down with your informant. You obviously need a language informant. Needs to be a speaker of the dialect or form of the language that you are trying to learn. Don't make the mistake of using somebody who's, for example, a young child that doesn't really speak the language well, or a PhD who speaks the language in a way that most people don't use. Try to find someone that's mainstream. They need to be available to you. They need to be teachable. Do not find somebody who is a qualified language teacher. You don't want them telling you how to learn language. You are going to be in charge of your own language learning session. You don't have to pay people usually for this because the drill can be recorded in just a few minutes. So many people will be glad to help you out if you just ask them, hey, can you take 10 minutes and record a little bit of your language for me? They'll jump at the chance to help you out. Now, when we record a drill, they're all going to have the same format. You're going to give the name of the drill. You're going to give short directions on how to use the drill so that when you listen to it, you know what to do. And then there will be a drill itself. Now, as an example, I'm going to give you the very simplest example. The first drill is called a whole text listening drill. In this drill, you're just going to listen to the text. Nothing more to it. So here is how you would go about recording a drill like this. You take your recorder, you turn it on, you start the recording, and you say, whole text listening drill. Listen only. At this point, you would get your informant to say whatever it is you're trying to learn. For example, you might want to learn the phrase, Audacity is free and works on almost any computer. Audacity is free and works on almost any computer. Audacity is free and works on almost any computer. Then you stop the recording. So what we've done is we've taken that little phrase, we've recorded it 3 times, We've stuck this onto our hard disk. Eventually it'll be on our MP3 player, and as we're walking through town with our headphones in, we're listening to this little piece of text. It's repeated with a short pause between each one. That is the simplest of all drills to learn the whole text listening drill. Well, let's move on to a second drill. This is called the sentence mimicry drill. I'm going to give it to you in two different versions. The first version, we're going to repeat a short phrase 3 times, giving you a short pause. Now, what I like to do when I do this drill is I like to write the text out on a piece of paper. If you're in a culture where they don't have written text or they're illiterate, that won't be so easy. But for most of us, we can write these out on a piece of paper, and then we use our finger to point to the phrase when we want our informant to say it. And again, we're going to have them repeat each of these phrases 3 times, and this is how it will work. Turn on your recorder. Sentence mimicry drill. Repeat in the pause. Hello. 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 I'm learning English. I'm learning English. I'm learning English. And so on for the rest of the drill. Now what I like to do is I like to point with my finger each time the informant is to say it, and in the pause I mouth the words myself. Now because I speak English, it's very easy for me to just repeat this in my head. But mouthing it when you're working with your informant on a phrase that you don't quite have mastered yet will help you to get the timing down appropriately. A second version of the same drill is to do the same thing. Leave a pause there, but don't repeat it 3 times. Just give it 1 time each phrase. You could even take this whole piece of text and you could do the whole text listening drill on it first. Then you could do the sentence mimicry drill version 1 and then version 2. If you did that and you walked around listening to that for an hour or so, chances are pretty good you could use this short phrase. I'd just like to say that this little piece of text as a first text of practice with somebody in your culture is awesome. But you take this and you go into town and you use it with the postman, use it with the butcher, your neighbor that you see walking down the street. They will laugh. They will think it's so funny that you're trying to learn their language, and you've got this little phrase saying, "This is all I can say." It's a great piece of text. So we learned how to create a recorded drill. You got 2 drills down, one with 2 versions. The whole text listening drill, the sentence mimicry drill. Now I want to challenge you to go find your language informant and practice.